Okay, let's not sugarcoat it. Getting a performance improvement plan sucks because either it means that you're going to be let go soon, or it means that you've been doing a really poor job and it's been recognized and you're getting one last shot at trying to get things together. But it's important to know, number one, which of those categories you're in, and number two, if there's anything that you can do to fix it. This video is going to try to explain a little bit of that to you. So, I realized one good thing about the fact that at the present time, my channel is fairly new and there's like not that many subscribers and I don't get a ton of views, is that I'm in a unique position where I can sort of do whatever I want. I can change directions or whatever else. So I'm kind of saying all that in order to essentially say that if you're watching this right now, I would encourage you to subscribe, because at least you can follow me on this journey and see where it goes. It's probably not going to be a whole bunch of talking head videos. I don't know if I'm going to be into vlogging. I don't know if I want to make it aesthetic and cinematic and whatever else. But, I'm going to experiment and do different things and kind of find my way. But the entire time, I'm still going to stick to talking about what I know, which is startups, legal stuff, technology, and how all of that stuff sort of mixes and intertwines with one another. So, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe now and follow along on this journey with me. But in the meantime, let's actually talk about performance improvement plans, which is the whole reason that this video exists right now. And yeah, let's get to that right now. So just checking in with you guys today, made my way to my classroom where I teach my course at a very well-regarded law school. I'm not going to say which one because, that's not cool to put that out there, and I'm not sure if the school would appreciate that. But, I'm here today just going to talk to you, tell you a little bit about these performance improvement plans. All right, so let's talk about the real reason why you clicked on this video, and that is to go into talking about performance improvement plans. Now, let me preface this by saying straight out the gate that a lot of the time, being put on a performance improvement plan is essentially a death sentence for your time at that particular company. A lot of companies do use the performance improvement plans as a way of pushing employees out without having to deal with a bunch of nonsense, extra cost, and whatever else. So let me first tell you how you can know if the way that you are being put on a performance improvement plan means that you're in the group that is basically being pushed out, or if you happen to be in the group that is actually trying to be retained. So there are plenty of times that a company will legitimately use a performance improvement plan to try to actually help an employee get better at their job so that they can stay there. Ways that you can know if you are that kind of person and not the one that is being pushed out of the company is to know if, for example, they spend a lot of time and money and expense training you. If you've been there for a pretty decent amount of time, maybe at least 1 to 2 years, maybe much longer. Another way to know if this is happening is if, for example, you've done an amazing job up until maybe a while ago, like maybe 6 months or 12 months ago, 8 months ago, things started to not go so well for you. There could be any number of reasons. Maybe you went through something personally and it just sort of pulled you down and you never really were able to recover, but they know that you have it in you to be like a really, really great employee, a great producer for the company, and so on and so forth. If you are that kind of person, if you are in that category, chances are actually pretty high that if you're put on a performance improvement plan, they actually want you to fix the things that you have going wrong, and then they get everything moving forward, everything's fine. So again, if you're that kind of person, if you're in that situation, the chances are actually kind of high that if you're put on a performance improvement plan, they actually want you to get better. They know what you're capable of. They like the work that you did in the past when you were performing really well, and they want you to return back there because that's good for the company, it's good for them. It's good to not have to train somebody new, to spend all that time and expense bringing on a new person and getting them all caught up and hoping that they do well. It's a lot easier to get somebody who they know has a capability of doing well back on track. If you find that you are not in the category I was just talking about, maybe you don't have all those things going for you, you haven't been there a long time, you weren't known to be a great performer in your job, you didn't have a fall off or a dip after a long proven track record of being really, really great at what you do. If you're not one of those or in one of those situations, or maybe you are, but you've been noticing as you look around that people aren't there as much. You know, the office is getting emptier and emptier, and positions are opening up. People are getting let go left and right or resigning left and right. You may be in the category where you have been given a performance improvement plan for the sake of pushing you out of the company. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, why would they push me out of the company, or why would I be pushed out of the company? Because it doesn't really make much sense, you know, because they could just terminate me if they didn't like what I was doing. So why would they go through the motions of acting like they want me to get better? There are a couple of reasons. Number one, sometimes people see being fired from a job as a negative mark, and they don't want to go into the job hunting season with that negative flag on them, even though there are laws in place that restrict employers, former employers, from being able to talk about job performance and things like that. You know, it's always better in some people's minds to say, you know what, I'm going to resign, and then I can write my own story. I can tell the next group of companies that I apply to, yeah, it wasn't a good fit, so I walked away from it, and I'm looking for another opportunity, and et cetera, however you want to frame that whole scenario. So that's one thing. And companies count on people having that viewpoint so that instead of having to go through the steps of terminating their employment, they can just kind of get you to leave on your own, and, you know, nice and quiet, nice and simple, everybody's happy. Another reason why they might want that to happen, terminating someone can actually be expensive. If you have an employment contract, you might have a severance package that they have to pay if they terminate you. You may have stock options or something that will accelerate if they terminate you for one reason or another that maybe this is not qualifying for. And then, of course, there's just the paperwork. There may be legal involved depending on what the circumstances are of your termination, of your time leaving the company and your time with the company. It could just be a matter of, you know, the cost that they have to pay, the hit they take to their unemployment insurance that they pay to the state. There are lots of reasons from a financial standpoint that companies may want someone to leave on their own or leave as a result of failing a performance improvement plan. Because if they put you on a performance improvement plan and they give you 60 days, 90 days, whatever it is, in order for you to get better, and they're going to do that to essentially say, yeah, you were simply not doing your job. We had to let you go because you were not performing the job duties. And sometimes they can use that to get out of you being approved for unemployment benefits. These are some things that you should know if you find yourself put on a performance improvement plan. You know, the number one thing is figure out your situation. Are you in category A, where the stars have aligned and they actually want you to get better, they want to keep you around, they want things to improve and go back to the way they used to be so that they can keep you there because they want that? Or are you in the other category, category B, where they're just using this as a ruse, you know, pretending to put you on a plan for you to get better just so that they can avoid that entire termination process by getting you to say, you know what, I've heard being put on one of these plans means that I'm just basically going to get fired. I'm going to go find another job right now. I'm not going to wait until it happens and be stuck. Sometimes they are counting on that, and that way they can avoid all the unpleasantness of having to go through the process of terminating an employee. Hopefully you found this very helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. Have you been put on a performance improvement plan? How did it work out? Let me know in the comments. Talk about this topic amongst yourselves in the comments and let us know. So until the next time we talk, this is the Boston Startup Lawyer signing off.